I do wish that if I were to take one class in middle school or high school, is how to study and how to learn.
That's a great, that's a great
Like, think
idea.
about it, like learning 101, like literally, like, because at the end of the day, I did not find my learning style until I was middle of, by the time I finished college. Let's just be honest. And so I adapt. In high school, and some people find it during high school. Some people find it during middle school. Some people just find it later, right? And I try different style. Like for me, like I struggle with memory stuff. Like just some people are just really good at just memorizing stuff. Read it, they'll memorize it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm very good at visual. If I can see something, I can remember everything visually, and then I can recall it. But when it comes to like actually like, hey, let me memorize this essay, well, word by word, blah blah blah. Like I do like I struggle in like memorizing a speech or a sense. But if I can see like a picture of an image of that pie, I can tell you like, oh, this is what it is. So reading this other book I was telling you about, the Moonwalking with Einstein, shows a kind of different memory technique. And I think you brought this up in a sense, chunking it. That's what they do. This PAS builder memory test. They chunk it in a sense of, hey, in this room number one, I go walking, I can see this table. This table is tied to something else, and it's tied to some material. Like you're chunking it room by room, room by room, and that for me, that helped me recall a lot of things. And so now when I try to learn, like like when I try to learn a certain topic, I try to chunk it, like you said, and then I can recall that later on, and it's definitely helpful. But I do wish, I wish I learned this in high school.
Yeah. I think one other tip that is really good for students is if they can make the material personally relevant, because we are all experts on ourselves. If like you're not going to forget it if it has a direct kind of relevance to you. Yeah. So if you can find some even loose tie of remembering it as with you as a reference point, you're going to be more likely to recall it than if you think it's some static piece of irrelevant information. We don't have time to learn irrelevant things that don't
matter.
Don't matter.
Everything is irrelevant to a certain point, but but it's good to learn some basic stuff to build that foundation. That's what it is.
Everything's irrelevant at a certain point. I think that's the quote of the episode. I like that.
But if you think about it, okay, when was the last time you used Pythagorean theorem?
Yesterday.
Get out of here!
Shut up! I had to figure out how long this angle was. Okay. No, I totally
about more efficient walking routes. But yes, that's a loose application of it. Not.
I think I also my ideas on what my learning style has changed as I've grown up as well. So that's when I was younger, like you said, you could memorize stuff. When I was younger, my mom taught me like when I was going through elementary school and all that stuff. Like I memorized everything. I went to like the National Spelling Bee just memorizing. Really? Like how to spell words, right? Cool. So like it's just like memorizing, but it takes forever, right? So like nowadays I say I can't remember stuff like that because I don't have the time to sit there and just like flashcard through everything that I need to memorize, right? And it's so hard. It takes so much time.
You gotta put in the work, man. Like Corinne said, put in the work.
Something like biology, where I hate biology because the whole thing to me is memorization. In school, like school of biology is just memorization because they don't teach you how everything connects and how one thing works towards another. So that whole part of biology is like, oh, it's all memorization. Biology 1, 2, 3 is all memorization. So I couldn't do that, but now when I think about it, I do everything much more kinesthetically. Where if I can apply stuff and do it, like I can learn that easier. So like from going from when I was younger to now, I feel like my style has, maybe it's not actually changed, but like the way I think about how I learn has changed.
So I feel like with biology for me, okay, the reason why I'm talking about this biology is because for me, that was like one of my favorite subjects in high school because I was taught differently to me, right? So it's literally taught the way of a car engine works, and that tied it to like an engineering thing for me, right? And so it's tied to specifically what certain part of the cell did, and then so therefore you gotta understand what that meant in order to how to connect to the next thing and then the next thing and how to build the whole thing. Like literally, like So the way she taught it was relatable from a grand scheme of picture, and then how she was able to apply that to like real life stuff in a sense. Example, that's what she did. So it gave me that visual to learn. So I didn't have to worry about memorizing it. I'm like, oh, okay, so now I can tie this back. This is what that thing does.
And as much as I say that, yeah, what? And as much as I say I don't memorize well, like when it comes to math, I learn the basics. And the basics of math is all memorization, like how these.
That's true. You have how
these things. Yeah. So like, I learned that very fast. But then when you go to like higher levels of math, everything is I could just sit there and just go from what the basics that I know and extrapolate into what the higher level math is. Yeah. Whereas I think biology I just learned late, or like I don't know, I didn't learn that basics and I just hated it because I'm like I'm still learning the stuff that to get to the point where you can extrapolate, right? And that's
well, also you probably had different teaching styles too as well to you, right? So like I said, they probably just thought, hey, go memorize this. Good luck with the test.
Yeah. Well, and like for intro chemistry, I rock that, like balancing equations, doing all these.
I love it too. So do I. I love balancing equations. Yeah.
But dude, when we moved to OChem and the and especially
Argo?
Those 3D models,
Argo's amazing.
I'm not a spatial person. I was like, I can't like.
I loved OrgoChem.
I love Orgo 1 and 2. I mix up that visual basic. I'm like, oh, this is so awesome.
I crushed both of those classes.
Yeah. So do I. Yeah.
I just like Gen Chem, but. Like I learned I was not a spatial person, and I was like, this makes perfect sense because I get lost in like multi-level parking garages. Like I'm just not a spatial person. Like multi-level parking garages. My knowledge does not translate on 3D levels. Like,
how about